So, Tales from the Loop is new to us here in Infinite Monkey Tales, and we have also got players who joined us for this game particularly. So we've got Velo, and Velo's joined us, and is a fan of the IP. So I think you were actually the first person that's sort of wanted to jump in on this. So thanks. And we also have Defective Bunny, who unfortunately is ill today with a fever. So fingers crossed it's just a quick thing. So get well soon, Bunny. What we're going to do is just do a quick recap of the characters, and then I'll do a quick recap of the setting after that. So our 4 characters today are Alex, played by Lloyd, Caro, played by Rasunka, Martin, played by some old pirate, and Jamie, played by Velocitish. Who would like to go first to introduce characters? A little bit of background for those that missed our first a couple of weeks ago.
Well, I see as we were all stepping forward for this one.
I knew you'd volunteer.
I'll go first then. I'm playing Martin Pereira, who he's a small kid for his age. He's only 13 years old. He's a bookworm archetype. He's always carrying a copy of some science fiction novel around in his back pocket. He's quite a quiet kid. Probably a little bit immature, maybe, and that's nothing to do with my own immaturity, of course. He has a father that has apparently taken no interest in him anymore. There was an accident at the Loop where his parents worked, and his mother has been missing since the accident. And his dad has been kind of distracted since then and has not been paying Martin much attention. I think that kind of covers it for now. It's one of you poor fools next.
Alright, I've got Alex. His parents came over from the States to help plan and build the sort of engineering side of the Loop. They, both being sort of like scientific engineering types, have very high expectations for Alec, and sort of that kind of thing where they kind of expect perfection and kind of plan his future. And he's, while smart and sort of a bit charismatic, he's sort of like become a bit of a troublemaker, sort of an early act of rebellion. I think last time we first saw him, he got basically locked out of his house and had to break in because no one to remember to either be in or leave him some keys. And is apparently being asked to go with Marty to see Star Trek because no one else will.
I am playing Jamie Ryan. I'm 13 years old. I'm a rocker chick. My favorite band is Joan Jett. My parents are always fighting, which is very frustrating. And I feel like I need to look after my little sister because they're too busy fighting to pay attention to her.
I'm playing Carrie Williams. She's the popular kid archetype. She lives with her parents who came over to work on the Loop as well from Australia, and also has an aunt living in her basement who's a little bit nuts. Well, a lot nuts. And she's got an older sister and a younger sister who, she gets along reasonably well with for the most part. And that's basically Carrie.
Nice one. And Bunny's character is Rune, and is a troublemaker. a year younger than the others, but will do anything to get away from home. Yeah, there's a family member that Rune kind of relies on, but it's not the parents. So we'll get hopefully Bunny back in a couple of weeks, and you can find out more about Rune. At this moment in time, I think Rune is going to kind of just disappear into the background a little bit. We'll assume that they're still there, but won't be active. We'll leave it over to you guys. Okay, so the characters are in place. The recap of where we got to. So we did a little bit of introduction of the mystery at the end of our session 0, and it basically was that there's news of a dog missing. It got your attention. It turned out that dog was similar in description to the one that you had seen when you were out and about on your bikes riding through the country lanes of the Scottish borders. And yeah, the dog was in a field and it was just sitting there, staring somewhere, not working, worrying, not under control of a farmer, just sitting there next to these sheep who similarly were just staring out. And a couple of sheep were caught in the fence that you freed, and they rejoined. So you went about your day, and then you heard about this missing dog. And so at the end of the day, after you got back home and sorted out a few things, you decided that you would go out and see if you could find the dog and collect the reward. And there's a reward of £20, which was a reasonable sum of cash back then. And you had figured that maybe chasing after that might be worthwhile. And you found the field. You got back to where you were, cycling up the steep valley sides and onto the slightly flatter ground, and always in sight of the Bona towers, the 3 towers that exhaust the heat from underground, with the graviton that powers the loop. Always in sight there. And you found the field to discover that the animals were slaughtered. It looked like they'd been cut badly and slashed. Just at that point, as you were investigating to see what had happened, you caught sight of a balanced autonomous system, commonly known as a robot. It was in the woods, walking away from you. You decided to follow it, at which point you found a mysterious white cottage in the woods. There was a fence around it, a high fence, but it had been squashed down, and the gate had been demolished as well. And your attempt to be quiet and stealthy to get to where you could find out was unsuccessful. Alex and Martin, you thought you were being quiet.
Being the nerd.
I mean, I was definitely being quiet. I blame Martin.
And so what you saw just at the end there, and where we finished, was not one robot, but in fact 2 of them, and they seemed to be looking over a deer which was lying in front of them, and the deer was lying on the ground and there was signs of blood around it. You have got yourselves into trouble. Now, trouble in this game can be dealt with in any number of ways. However, I must warn you that should you fail to deal with the trouble, these robots will scare you. So the complication of this will be that you are scared, and that will then result in a -1 to all your rolls for pretty much the rest of. We'll see how it goes anyway, but certainly it's not good. And you can build up these particular complications, and for each bit of trouble you find yourself in, you will get a similar complication. And if you already have one of these, then you have to choose another one. So you rack up these, and if you get 5, that's when bad things happen. So obviously you don't want to have this happen. So I will now pass over to you, having just made your way down this forest path, surrounded by pine trees on both sides, with the low sun barely able to penetrate through the thick forest, making that you are in somewhat shadows. It's a warm night, but it is getting dark.
Okay. I seem to recall. I mean, were we all kind of peeping around this fence? I can't remember. I remember I said Martin was going to do it. I can't remember if everybody else was there peeping around the side of the.
I think we were all creeping. I think, but I think
Yeah.
They just did better.
Yeah, I think we all creeped up.
Yeah, you certainly did. Well, some of us did.
Yeah. Sneak together, die together.
Yeah. Have these things noticed us? That's the first question, I guess. Muted, my friend.
Yeah.
Yes, because you were following one robot, and with the noise that you made, another robot came out of a location that you can just see the front of, and it has turned to look at you.
Right, but
in your direction.
Not making any aggressive moves yet?
Well, that depends on what the scene is and what we're seeing. Are we basically seeing at this point the metal chain fence, which has been flattened, the gate has been flattened, but the trees, the big pine trees that go almost right up to this border, and you're kind of peeking around the trees and the fence, and you're looking into this around the cottage, and this big robot has, like an Ed 209 style, has walked out into this courtyard, and then has turned its head and fixed on you. So what are you doing at this point? What?
Yeah, I kind of ducked back into the trees, and I think it saw you, Alex.
Maybe it's vision, space, or movement. Maybe we shouldn't move.
So we
you
kind
hear.
Yeah, try to throw a rock over somewhere else, see if we can distract it with a noise.
Oh yeah, good.
We don't really know how it sees or hears or whatever. I don't.
Yeah.
But we throw it, we can distract it now. They make a run for it or hide.
Okay, so I think that needs. You certainly look around and find you're in a forest. It's no problem to find stones. That's not an issue. You lob a stone, and this I guess would be a force roll.
Force? Yeah, that's what I was worried about. After
I
said it, I was like, God damn it.
Use your athleticism, Alec.
Oh, where's the...
What could go wrong?
Success!
Look at that.
There you go.
Yay.
Yeah.
Get one success. So what happens then? What's the next? What happens at this point when you...
Well, it's the... Yeah, well, I was kind of hoping that if you throw something, and then it'll create rustle some bushes somewhere, so it makes it turn and look. And I think I'd probably try and hide behind a tree or.
Okay, so
you
lob this rock, and it hits some oil drums that are sitting outside.
Yeah,
and it makes that loud echoing noise, and the robot stops.
I guess we freeze. I'd say Martin's going to freeze.
Yeah, maybe it's vision, space, or movement.
I'm going to try and sneak up to the house.
Okay.
All right then. Right. Describe. So basically the house is in the center of grass. There's grass. There's a driveway that sweeps round. To the right, and you're at the left corner of the building. To the right of the building, there is a mound of grass and dirt in a semicircle. It's a Nissen hut, an old a wartime shelter with a large door in the front, and that's where the robot came out of that you saw. There are trees around as far as you can see to the front of the house. This is set in the forest, so you could try and make a break, or you can use the forest if you want to try and go around that way and get out line of sight.
Yeah, I'm gonna run through the forest.
Yeah. Okay, that's easy done. Are you trying to do it quietly?
Yes.
Excellent. Can I have a sneak roll from you, please?
I'm trying to act, tough, but I'm a little nervous.
But no need to be.
Oh, take the first one.
The first one.
Take
take that first one.
Take the first one. So,
I mean, unless you want to take the fail, but I didn't need to do it twice.
We don't want to take the fail.
Yeah,
so you
bring it up.
You split off from the group. What do you do then? How are you sneaking through? What's the terrain like as you're running through this forest? And how long does it take you to get out of sight of the robots?
I'm going to have a theme song playing in my head, and I'm just going to be dashing in behind each tree and then stopping for a second and then dashing to the next tree.
Excellent. So it does take a while then for you to cover that. The ground is difficult, and there are mounds that are fallen. There's fallen timber. It doesn't look like it's been very well tended. There is some growth of plants there, ferns and the like. So it takes you a bit of time to get through there. So while you're sneaking off with the others, what's the rest of you doing? What are you doing as Jamie sneaks off into the distance into the forest? You following, or?
Kara's kind of looking between the boys and where Jamie's disappeared to, and trying to decide if she wants to try and follow Jamie or see what the boys are doing as far as their rock throwing attempts.
Okay.
I think she'll probably try and follow Jamie, actually.
Okay.
Good idea.
So you're away from the robot into the woods. You salt into the woods, and you see the kind of sneaking action that Jamie's doing. You try and emulate that. Let's see how successful.
Did that not work? No?
Oh, there might be a pop-up behind one of your windows. I think that seems to be asking for additional dice, bonus dice,
Need
which you
more
don't
screens.
have. Always.
Oh
no.
Okay. As you're running through the forest, something happens, and you make noise. How's that noise made? What do we see?
Kara probably trips over a shoelace and just kind of falls over, just sprawling into the
so
forest.
you land loud. You crash into some branches, and you maybe let out an involuntary yelp. So you hear again as the robot begins to step in your direction.
I was gonna think I might run out with the light because I got that my little lightsaber. Kind of. So I was thinking a bit like the scene you have with Jurassic Park with the flare,
waving
it to get its attention, and then I'm gonna run off into the bushes in the opposite direction.
Okay. Yeah, so that's probably a move roll.
God damn it. Yeah, I need to find some ways to bring tech and mind into this somehow, right? Like, yeah, you all comprehend. You take a success. You made a very bad decision. Oh no. Please. Nope.
Okay.
Does that mean you failed to attract his attention?
Well, I think it's failed to run away if it's moved.
So, yeah.
Well, I mean, if it's program or calculate, I could probably, I don't know, just some way, I don't know.
You try to, yeah. So this bit here is, you watch as Carol makes a huge noise, and you see the robot moving again. So you step out from where you are in the trees, and you wave your lightsaber about, and then you try and retreat back into the forest, but you don't go back the way you came. You loop round the other side of the tree, and there's actually a big ditch that just starts at the edge of the path, and it's about maybe 8 foot wide, and it goes down about 5 foot into the ground with just murky, fetid water at the bottom, running out of a pipe under the path. So you can try and jump that or something, yeah. And if you so this particular yes, let's see what happens.
You're about to get the wet feet condition. That's what you're about to get, my friend.
It's better than the wet pants condition.
Which is what Martin currently has.
Yeah. I was wondering, maybe I could use calculate to see if there's something I could like push over to like make a bridge, maybe? I don't know. Like there's an old log or something. Like a dead tree. I don't know. I mean, every option I see involves like trying to do something physically, but let's say I could like push over something to make a bridge and then try and escape that way.
Yeah, I mean, you haven't run that far. You could run back the way that you were, but like you say, you're trying not to use moves. You're trying to use your brains.
Well, let's just try to think. Yeah, try to like play the character because the character's like a brains character.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think of how like he would try and solve a problem rather than playing to his weaknesses all the time. But I think he wants to try to keep going because he does like just because if he's got the robot's attention, he needs to keep going to draw it away.
Yeah.
Like going back is probably not going to be a good idea.
Yeah. You got its attention, no problem. It's taking a turn and a step towards you.
Quick question: is it just one of them that's following Alex?
Yes.
Okay.
Has the other one made any attempt to move, or is it just sort of sitting there in the yard? From what we saw earlier?
You glance over quickly as you're standing at the top of this ditch, looking down. You could maybe climb down it and jump over the water, or you could just take a leap. The water itself isn't that wide. You could probably get down there easy enough. But yeah, you glance over your shoulder. It's still walking towards you, but the other one appears to be standing at the deer.
Maybe I could think of something, but I don't really have any items. Maybe what I might do is run along the edge of the ditch rather than trying to cross it. I don't know.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's
away.
fine. Yeah, so you go in deeper. Basically running along the parallel to the fence as the ditch sort of turns.
Yeah.
You follow the ditch round. You begin to arc away from the fence. So you're going a bit deeper into the forest, following this ditch. No problem. That's easy done. Right. So the robot's taken a good number of steps towards the edge of the compound, the grass, where it turns into the forest, where the downed fence is. It's at this point, it's only a few feet away from where Martin is hiding or attempting to hide. What are you doing, Martin?
I can see that Caro has fallen over. Alex is. Oh, I don't know. Does Caro look hurt?
She's maybe just like scuffed one of her knees, but she's, fine. Like really,
okay.
She's just sort of brushing dirt off herself and.
Right, so she's kind of got to her feet and she's going to carry on heading towards Jamie.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
In that case, Martin is going to reach down and grab the heftiest stick that he can find on the floor.
Yeah. Easy done.
And he's looking at this thing's legs as it passes him, look as it's kind of hunting for Alex. He's looking for something that he can, like some kind of piston or something. He may be able to jam this stick into to try and jam up one of its legs. Is that a doable? Can I do that?
You do tinker with these things, don't you? So this is something
I mean, he's pretty good with technology and stuff, but it's probably more theoretical than practical.
Okay. Yeah. What are you going to roll then for that?
It's going to be mind. I'm guessing
Okay.
as he's looking for something that might cause an issue for the leg. And I guess tinker would be the obvious one. But if I'm trying to find something, would investigate be a thing? Try and find a point that would be, or would I need something more technical than that?
I
Calculate.
think investigate or comprehend.
Comprehend.
Because you're looking at the machinery, trying to comprehend how it functions.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Is that all right? May I do
Yeah,
that?
yeah. Go for it. Go for it. Let's see where this goes.
I don't believe that.
Oh
I'm gonna push this if I may.
You can.
The condition.
If you do, yes. What condition?
I think he's gonna hurt himself in some way. He's gonna give himself some kind of physical damage by doing this, I guess. Perhaps he's gonna trap or catch part of his arm in the mechanism as he's jamming this stick into it, which will either burn or just kind of get trapped, maybe.
Yeah. So
would that be fair?
Yeah, I'm just looking for the various conditions.
In fact, I could avoid that condition by using a point of luck, can't I?
Yes, you can.
Then
you must first check a condition. So choose any condition you feel fits the story.
So I think injured is probably the one that in fact, I'll just take that anyway, I think, and make this reroll, if I may. Instead of the luck points, I might need those later, because we're right at the start. I don't want to spend all my luck yet.
Yeah. So you can re-roll all the dice, except any that were showing sixes, but none of them were, so...
Okay.
And if it's successful, then I get to describe what happens.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Go for it.
Holy shit!
Wow! You rolled 14.
no!
You rolled 14 D6s and did not get 1 6.
Yes. Thanks, Roll20.
Welcome to my life.
Okay. If the reroll fails, you can't push it again, but you can use your luck point or your pride if you want to at this point.
Now, his pride is resilience. I won't ever stay down. So maybe he does hurt himself, but he's able to kind of just get up and move away from the situation in some way. I don't know how this works. Tell me how it works, man.
Okay. As I look quickly through,
Tell you what, I'll just take the condition.
Yeah. So
you
take that. You take the pride. You take the condition. Everybody has a pride, and it's something that makes you feel like strong or important, whatever.
Yeah.
And you're obviously trying to use that potentially. You might check it, and it will give you an automatic success if you use it.
Okay. No.
So it's up to you. If you want to use it.
No, I'll take the condition. I'll take the condition right now, I think.
Okay. So what happens then? You this thing steps off after Alex, and you think that you can get up behind it. You go up to where this robot is stepping, and you get up. It's making so much noise, and it's focused. It's not hearing you. And you try and jam a stick in, but as you do so, the stick is pulled with immense force out of your hand, and you don't quite realize it. It jars your shoulder and it pulls you flat to the ground, and you skin your face on the ground.
Okay.
And it pulls you, and the stick just snaps, and it continues to walk. So you're now behind this robot on the ground, face first. You've got a cut on your head or your cheek. Your shoulder is really sore, and you're kind of lying down there as this thing makes its way down the perimeter of the fence. It's now got to the point where the fence hasn't been bashed, and it's walking out over the fence, and it's crunching on the metal fence as it tries to trample into the forest.
Okay.
Okay. Right then, so far not so good.
I don't know what you
let's
mean.
go back. Let's go back to Jamie. In this time you've managed to sneak round the fence at the side of the front door of this cottage is still intact. It hasn't been knocked down. But as you come round the fence, on the other side of the building that was previously hidden from you, you see a large pen that has chickens in it, and one side of that's been like flattened, and there are chickens running around in the yard. There's a cattle grid and a road, a proper tarmacked road that leads out on this side and away through the trees. There's no car there, but if you're wanting to get into the property, then you can get round that bit easy enough and across the cattle grid and into where the garden is, and then to the front door.
Okay, I'm going to kind of stand there examining all of that for a second, and then look back to Caro where she fell. And then kind of look back at the chickens, and then run to Caro. And, kind of help her up. And then ask where the others are.
Thanks, Jamie. I think they were back there. It looked like one of the robots might have been following Alex or Martin.
Oh, we should probably do something.
We should. I don't know what exactly, but maybe we should go back and check on them.
Okay, I'll start heading towards them.
Yeah. I guess
I'm gonna try and be stealthy because I don't want to get any attention yet.
Just keep an eye out for Alex, Marty's face.
No.
He left it back there.
So you come back round this building, and again you've got the clear view down the side, where you see Marty is lying on the ground. He looks like he's moving, but yeah, you still have to continue around the fence until you get to the broken bit before you can actually get into. And you also see the robot is now turned with its back to you, and it's trundling over and along the outside of the metal fence, which is intact and standing, with the trees barely 10 feet away from where it is, and it seems to be walking along the side. You cannot.
Oh, sorry.
I was going to say finally, yeah, you can't see Alex.
Can I tell that there's a ditch there?
I'm going to say yes, because you've probably avoided it yourself coming round the way that you have, because it runs parallel to the edge of the house that you saw. So then it goes under the road the path that you walked in on, and then continues. So yeah, you probably understand there's a ditch.
This is a really bad idea. I'm gonna look at Caro. I'm gonna say, let's run into the back of it and push it.
Okay. Let's do that.
On 3. 1, 2, 3. And I'm gonna run and try to push it into the ditch.
Yeah,
Excellent.
same.
What kind of roll are you going to make, both of you, to do that?
I think it would either be move or force.
Yeah. One of those two.
You're going to need move. You're going to need move to get over there, and you're going to need force, probably, to actually push it, because you're going to have to get round through the place that you were previously sneaking. So you're going to have to move pretty sharpish to get round there.
Okay.
And then, so I think first of all, if we get the move roll, that would be good from both of you, to see if you can move quick enough.
Well, that's what successes look like.
Yeah.
The grass is always greener, Marty.
Marty, you're kind of picking yourself up, I guess, and you see Caro and Jamie running past you towards this. Ignoring the other robot, which seems to be standing next to the deer on the ground, and it's not really doing anything. This other one's kind of traipsing forward. You jump over the fence, and you get to the side of this robot, which is probably standing round about 8 or 9 feet tall. And you do an almighty heave. You're gonna have to have more than one success to achieve this.
Oh man.
Because it's just so much bigger than you. You're gonna each have to have 2 successes to be able to achieve this between the 2 of you. Unless you're joined by another, unless Marty joins you as well, maybe with the 3 of you possibly. We can see.
I just gotta figure Marty's flat on his face at the moment, or maybe scrabbling around looking for his glasses in Velma style.
Yeah.
I'll let out my best metal scream as I creed into it. No!
Oh,
So if we can get a reroll from, if we can get a roll from Caro as well. So you do not manage to. This is really difficult. You realize as soon as you're up on this that was maybe not the wisest idea. But it stops when you get up behind it, and it turns round its head, and it begins to slowly try to turn round to see what's behind it.
Can I try and stay behind it? Like just sort of follow its movement around if it's like kind of doing that awkwardly?
Yeah, so as it's kind of you're kind of just like sneaking round behind. Yeah, no problem. You can do that.
I'm gonna try and dart between its legs as it's turning around.
Yeah, you can do that as you're kind of underneath it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And you can see it kind of Alex, it stopped chasing you at this point. I don't know if you've been looking behind you to see its location, but it's no longer chasing you, and you see that underneath the robot, Jamie is kind of there, and Caro's behind, like sidestepping round it as it goes.
Do I still have one following me, or is it?
it's
No,
that one. I think
that's that one that was following you. It's following you along the side of the ditch.
Okay, I hatched another plan. How big was the sort of like the site that the sort of industrial site that they were sort of hanging out in, the 2 robots?
So yeah, there's there's the big hut, and the fence turns to like a gravel courtyard, and there's various bits of junk lying there. Some large rusty carapaces of some forgotten machine, and pipes and bits of wood and all manner of junk. There's a kind of gravelly type wash over the grass that's not so much there, and the fence is still intact at the other side, and it goes round. And you too can see when you turn around and look at it, because you've gone that much beyond the house, you're able to look back and see the front of the house as well, which is that same tarmac path you see just passing down into the distance.
Cool. I'm gonna make a run for that little compound. I have an idea with this that, based on what I saw in a movie recently, in character. And let's see if I can find some rope or so, that kind of hefty, like, industrial cable.
Oh yes, I know this film of which you speak.
It sounds familiar.
It's not Star Trek, so sorry.
Fitting for the season. The other one. So you track back and you begin to run back towards the house, but you're going round. Are you going round the front this time? You're not going to join the dance with the robot?
No. That's the thing. If I can get something, we can maybe set up something like a trap for the robot.
Okay.
So that's why I try to get the gear while it's distracted by everybody else.
Yeah. So that's it. So you're liking it. And you've got a bit of run, backtrack, and then down the other side of this to get to the front and then in. So that'll take you a wee bit of time, but definitely doable. Marty, are you up yet?
Yes, I should think so. I can see. I stick the glasses back on my face, and I'm kind of looking towards this robot. Shoulders obviously in a lot of pain. I can see Caro and Jamie kind of dancing around between this thing's legs. Do they look like they've got this under control?
I don't think so.
Okay, so I'm going to grab another big stick if I can find one, and run towards it with that famous rallying battle cry. Ah! And strike it with this big stick on one of its legs. I'm not thinking about it.
Yeah. So you see something at the side, on the other side of the fence. So you jump over the fence, the fallen fence, the metal fence that's on the ground. The chain. There's some sticks at the top of the ditch. You grab one of those and you run up to it and you try and just basically whack it.
Yeah.
And you, in doing that, you attract its attention no matter what.
Yeah.
But I think at this point, given that this is your second go at it, if you have to roll something, but if you fail it, you are going to get the scared condition at this point, and you're going to take that on board. So you get a -1 already because you're injured.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
And I regret not wearing the brown pants.
Does this the sheet take into account the fact that it's already checked, or am I going to have to do a -1?
I don't know. It'll be interesting. Let's give it a shot anyway, and we can have a look at that to see if it does.
Okay, so I guess this is going to be forced that he's trying. He's really good at this.
And a minus. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So I'll roll it normally, and if it doesn't take it off, I'll roll it with a -1. Yeah. Let's see.
It's got injured.
Yes, it has. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Everything's fine.
So I've got the scared condition as well.
At this point, you run up to it, you smack it in the legs, trying to avoid where Caro is jumping around behind it. And it turns round, and as it looks at you, an opening on the side of the robot opens up, and you see an arm extending, and on the end of the arm there are blades.
Who made this thing?
It looks like a surgical. It looks like a surgical knife. It's not a huge like sword or anything. It's just a very precise looking knife. And it comes down towards you.
Yeah, I think scared's fair. I think that's a fair assessment of Martin's situation right now.
Probably.
Please continue.
I'm going to use move to try and jump onto it, like climb up it.
Okay, yeah. Go for it. And I think likewise, if you don't manage this, then I think you two will be given the scared condition.
Yep, I'm scared.
So you take the scared condition. You try and jump up on this, but as you do, it whirls round, and you just see this knife kind of just menacingly close to you as it begins to step round as it hears all this noise. It looks a little bit in disarray. It's not quite sure it's what its target is at this point, but you hear it make some noise, and there's like a red light sweeps around it. You see this kind of red light sweeping around it, and it catches right over you. It's like it's doing something. So yeah, this robot is trying to get its bearings as to what it's dealing with. So yeah, you fail. You don't manage to jump up on it. It moves, and you fall away from it. Carol, what's happened underneath the robot? Well, you're behind it, aren't you? You're behind it, and you're trying to kind of just keep out of its...
Stay out of its eye line. Yeah. I guess I've just seen it basically draw a knife on like two of my friends, which is not great. And like, is there anything identifying about this robot, or is it just like a big... Like, is there anything written on it, or is that something that I need to roll for, or like, does it look like it?
Yeah, you've spent a bit of time looking around this robot. If you can think, maybe just investigate or comprehend, one of those two, maybe, if you want. I don't know. It's up to you but you have spent a bit of time out of it looking at it, so you would be able to determine. You see a lack of any significant like numbers or anything like that, but there is a logo on it that you don't immediately recognize. It's just on the right side. There you go. Right. So a couple of successes there. You recognize it as the University of Edinburgh. It's the logo of the University of Edinburgh. It's got the shield and the crest, and you've seen it before on some of the documents that you've moved adverts on the side of a bus or something that you've seen. Just something like that. Anyway, you recognise it. It's a university, and then next to that, you also see the telltale sign of Shepa. You see, just it's embossed in one of the panels at the bottom. You just see this kind of just SHEPA thing. So it looks like it's, it could be some sort of could be some research, maybe, possibly, springs to mind.
Okay. I think I'm gonna, like, basically just ask it, or shout at it, what's a university robot doing out here? Like, why are you here, basically? And see if it responds. I don't know if it's capable of response, but I'm gonna try anyway.
Yeah, okay. It hears, so it hears a question, and it says, veterinary 652 designation, health, well-being, support.
Okay. Isn't the point of veterinary to keep things alive? You know we're not farm animals, right?
Yeah, so it just repeats itself again. That sounds like a fairly keyed-in response, and it's still it's got at this point it's got its knife out. So we're going to cut to what else is going. Marty, you've been it pulled a knife on you first of all. What did you do in response to that?
You call that a knife?
I think I'm eyes wide, kind of stepping back and trying to get the hell out away from this thing.
Easy done.
Stepping backwards, yeah. Well, say easy done. I know that he's gonna trip and fall over.
Yeah, let's see a move.
Backward.
Let's see a move roll then.
Yeah.
To see if that happens.
There you go. So as he's backing away, perhaps there's a large rock or something that's kind of on the path that he's walking, and he stumbles over that, trips over that, and falls backwards, and kind of lands flat on his back with this thing kind of looming over him with its arm and its blade doing whatever it's doing.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it turns away from you and it goes to Carol. Sorry, it goes to Jamie. Jamie, what do you do as it turns round towards you once you've failed to jump up on its back?
I'm going to try to jump and grab onto the arm that has the knife, but behind the knife.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. So again, athletics comes into play here. Let's see which of your skills that you're gonna embark upon to pick that one up.
This
you're gonna
is
try
fine.
and just kind of
probably move again, I think.
Yeah, it's ability to climb and balance and run and that kind of stuff, isn't it? So it seems appropriate. Okay. Yeah, so you jump up and you're hanging off, and then you hear Carol saying, "That seems a bit off for a medical veterinary supposed to heal, etc." And the red flashes across you again, and it looks at you directly, and it doesn't seem to stop. It just spins round and gets closer to Marty.
I'm going to. Would it be charm, maybe? To also try and talk to it?
Yeah, or a technical skill if you had any, because you're right up to it now. You can reach it. You could maybe pull something, but yeah, you could certainly try and charm it.
I was thinking of trying to pull like a wire or something, but I don't have very high tech, so.
Yeah. Okay, to it.
Yeah, I'll try to see if I can pull a wire or something. At least disable the knife.
Yeah.
I'll risk injury, I guess. Ah!
So yeah, even though you're scared, you're pushing that. You can push it if you want, but you'd have to take it on a condition if you did.
Ah! No, I think I'll leave it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you're up against this, and you're trying to grab hold of something. You're just unable to. As it's continuing to spin around. It's advancing as well because it's following Marty as he's on his back and he's scrabbling backwards.
I'm just
from it.
dangling there, like, what should we do?
Can I get that? Do I manage to find any rope while this is all sort of kicking off?
Yeah, so you've gone running round, and it's not difficult to find something that you're looking for. There's a cable drum. Looks like it might have been used for grey thick core cable. Maybe it's like electricity or something, but it's big enough. You can pick it up. Cardboard rim and metal inner.
Yeah, I like grab a bunch of it, just throw it over my shoulder, and then try and run back to where the guys are.
Yeah, so you grab this.
The noise and the screaming.
Yeah, you grab this drum. It looks a bit beaten up and old and covered in mank, but you don't care about that. You cover a set of ground relatively quickly. You're holding this drum. You've put your hand through the tube in the middle, and you've got this cable wrapped around it. And so yeah, you get to the scene.
Yeah. We could do a dramatically last minute moment. Would be to like tie it off, like basically tie it off around like a tree, and then try and like run around in front of it, and then sort of fall against it. See if we can like, I don't know, stagger it.
Okay.
So it doesn't hurt the other guys.
The nearest vertical strength is the upright of the fence.
Yeah.
So you begin to wrap it. You pull out one end, you tie it round there as securely as you can, and then you're spinning it. It's rolling off the spool, the spindle. What are you going to use to try and?
I think it's got to go like do like a couple of loops. Again, like this is based off what he saw in The Empire Strikes Back. They do like a couple of loops and then try and like, I don't know, brace himself for like another hole or something if you can find it, just to try and like slow it or stop it.
So
or trip it if that's
the fence is behind, so you could actually tie it round some of the fence that's on the ground.
Yeah, I'll try to do that.
So
because it's probably way more than I would, and I don't want to have to try and use my body to do anything because he weighs about 5 pounds.
Yeah. So what skill are you using here to set this up?
It'll be tinker or it's somewhere between tinker and calculate, I guess, because it's sort of like mental logistics. Like the tinker, I guess, would be the actual tying the knot, and then calculate would be like, I don't know, trying to get like an effective loop around it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you want to do a tinker, then go for that.
Nope.
Wow.
Just one of those games.
Rolls.
Can anyone spot the flaw in D6 game?
You did. You managed to do everything that you set out to do, but it didn't work. The robot just snaps the cable.
Well, I'm out of ideas, guys.
I'm gonna yell, Alex, get over here, so I can hoist him up to pull wires or something. I'll use my strength so that he can use his deck.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Would it be, I guess, body to lift him?
Yeah, go. Yeah, sure. If you want to use just one of the core skills, and you stick your arm out as you're getting moved.
No! I'm going to
rolls.
I'm going to risk and reroll.
Okay, so you're spending a point of luck, or are you taking a condition?
No!
Oh
The
my goodness.
rules.
You
I
just
think
can't
we
seem
should.
to-
I think our only real option is to run away at this rate because like I don't really know what else to try. Apart from like let's just see if we can outrun the robot and get into that farmhouse.
I mean, at the
Oh.
moment, that's probably not a bad idea. Let's try and
think-
take
yeah.
cover in the house.
Just but knowing out, like,
sounds
it'd be
like a
like, oh,
great
please
plan.
make a body
Oh,
check
yeah.
to open the front door, and then we die. Yeah. So I think let's just get into that house and then see if we can take shelter from the robot.
Yeah.
Just get out of here.
Yeah.
Okay,
Follow
well-
me.
I'll take upset as my condition. Because I'm really upset.
Yeah.
Okay.
Damn,
Yeah.
that didn't work.
Yeah.
And now
That
you're
was supposed to be
angry about
cool. Yeah. No.
it. Yeah.
So yeah, you jump down off and you make your way. This isn't fast. This robot, you know, it's not super quick. It's not like running at you or anything. It's very methodical in its steps. It takes a while to turn. It's not nimble, and you can be picking up Marty and getting away. Marty, you were able to kind of keep out of its reach just by scrabbling backwards.
Yeah.
So the five of you, because Rune's still with you, you run around now in the courtyard. All this time, the other robot hasn't done anything. It's just been examining this deer. It's been standing over it and looking at it. But you kind of don't give that a second thought. You can run round to the front of the house, to the front door.
Find the front door, yeah.
Well, you find a side door to start with, I'm going to say, and you try that, and it's locked. And then you run round to the front. At this point, you're out of range of the robot. You can hear it still.
Is it actually coming after
Walking.
us? Swim?
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming after you, but you're not at this point, and kind of in its main view. And so you try the front door, and it's locked. And you are behind you now is the driveway, the entranceway, and the forest. So I think with that, you've kind of got the gist that these things aren't particularly quick, but you're on a road, and the front gate, the cattle grid, is there.
I tried Jimmy the lock like I did back at home.
Oh yeah.
I'm tempted just by the low tech solution of just bricking the window and climbing inside just to get out away from the robot. I'll try Jimmy the lock. Imagine like a side door is probably going to be less secure than a front door.
Yeah, by this point, the robot's probably circled round to that kind of location, so you haven't got long.
You could just keep away and just run around the house. It just rotates around.
Yeah,
Why not?
I mean, you can. It strikes you at this point that if you needed to, you could run away from it. Does that?
Just
that
lure it around the
thought
far
hit
side of
you?
the house again and just
You can just
yeah,
get
just
away
try to
from it.
circle
You can
around.
run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well, otherwise, for the door. I'll go for
so-
a tinker. And
Okay,
hope for a
so you
better
try
roll
and-
than last time.
What have you got? Have you got something that'll help you try and jimmy this? Have you got anything in your possession?
Yeah,
that'll
robot.
let
It
you-
doesn't really. I mean, the game. I don't know. There was never really seemed to be much of the thing for equipment.
Yeah, it's not
Just
really.
I remember
Open it
just because
and
I
then-
remember like last time we had to basically sort of Jimmy like the window lock to try and get himself inside. I guess.
Yeah, you can just try and kind of shoulder
yeah.
barge it or something just to see if it works.
Yeah,
Maybe the
or
whole
just
lot
like a
of
bit
you
of
are
wire-
against
or
the
a bit
door,
of-
just
Or because when all the lock, it could just be like a bit of wire on the keyhole.
I mean, we could just try banging on the door and hope that there's somebody inside that might let us in.
yeah.
I mean, if you're inside a house and you hear like stomping and kids screaming outside, you're like, oh, that scamp of a robot. He's
Go for
out
it.
playing with the kids
Go.
again.
Make a
Um,
make
Car-
a roll. Yep.
Kara's probably got a bobby pin in her hair for the lock.
Oh, that'll work.
Ooh.
Yeah, just give it a shot. That's a professional.
There you go.
Yes!
Yay!
Somehow, you realise that maybe it actually wasn't properly locked or something. Anyway, you managed to to turn the chambers. It's a very simple lock. It's got 2 pins. It's really straightforward, and you manage to somehow go through, all of you banging against the door and just providing a bit of force as you're mucking about with this, and just people are banging at it and pushing at it. Let me in! Let me in! The door flies open, and you're inside an old cottage. The smell of the place is a bit musty. It's a bit damp, and that sort of combination of smells kind of immediately, in comparison to the fresh outdoors, it smells a bit rank in comparison. It's dark. The corridor leads off to a set of stairs at the end, and there is a room left and right. But the door is and has opened.
So, I mean, judging by the decor on that, I guess this place is abandoned.
Yeah, you look around, and there's a hat stand that's got coats on it. There's shoes and boots at the front door. But yeah, so and I assume you close the door once you come in.
Oh yeah,
That seems like a good idea.
yeah.
So yeah, that's basically just like you all tumble into the house and you get up quickly, slam the door shut. You see a bolt on the door, and you can slide that over. It strangely wasn't put in there in the first place. Yeah, so this place is dark. There's no light directly in, other than there's maybe a small bit of glass above the front door that you just came through, and a little bit of light's coming through there. But it's pretty manky, so yeah.
Have a nose around, see if we can find out who lived here or lives here.
Yeah.
If there's anything that might identify a person.
Let's hope that the robots didn't get them first.
You don't think they could have got in here, do you?
I don't know.
No, they're too big. They're too big, right? They couldn't get in.
Also, they're only the one. I mean, if they could have got in here, the doors wouldn't have been locked.
Those things are pretty slashy.
Are there blinds on the windows?
You look into the room left and right. The doors are shut, and yeah, you look into the rooms, and there is various furniture, all recent. One of the rooms is like a dining room with a table and bookcases all around the side. The other room is like a sitting room, and all of the shutters on the windows are shut.
I think he's just outside.
Good. They won't see us, right?
Wait. We
Just
should
keep quiet.
We should get upstairs. We should go upstairs or something.
Let's go search the rooms. Make sure we are alone here first.
Sounds good.
I would like to sneak while we do this.
Okay. So yeah, you are you all sneaking, or are you?
Why not?
I don't know. I kind of figure if Martin is scared, I'm figuring he's probably kind of halfway up the stairs. He's just kind of hanging there,
Yeah.
just kind of waiting and listening.
I kind of feel like we lost the lost the whole stealth thing when we bashed on the door and then came bursting through it. Like, that can't have been quiet, right?
Yeah, so you're standing and you're up the stairs. Martin's up the stairs. You can see the landing at the top, and there's a window at the end, and there's light coming in at the top, along the top of the corridor. And there looks to be three. Well, you can see 2 doors. One opens up onto the landing, which kind of looks back down over the stairs, and the other one to the left. And there's a yeah. So you can see 2 doors.
Where are you going? Where are you going? We should get upstairs.
We need to see what we're dealing with. I'll go for the left door.
Are you upstairs or downstairs?
I thought we were still downstairs. I don't know. Have we run
Yeah,
out?
so Marty's on
I
his way
figured
upstairs.
I kind of figured that Marty made halfway up
Yeah.
the stairs. He's too scared to go all the way up to the top.
Well, how about this? How about this for a compromise, Marty? Why don't you go search upstairs while we check downstairs?
I'm not going by myself.
I'll go with you.
Better give you it out.
Jamie is gonna put on a brave face and then grab Martin's hand and start walking
Yeah.
to the top of the stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. So, yeah, as you get to the top of the stairs, you see this light coming through the window at the end of the corridor, and you see another door to your left. So, to your left, there's two doors. They're opposite each other with the window, and to the right, there's one door with a railings across the small amount of landing at the top.
I mean, there can't be anybody here. Can't be anybody here, can there? Because otherwise, they'd have opened the door, wouldn't they? They'd have heard us and they'd have opened the door.
They would have checked, right?
we got the two scared people together. You go first. No, you go first.
Okay, so while you're standing at the top of the stairs, yeah, so Caro, Alex, are you both checking? Are you checking the same rooms or are you checking different rooms?
We do a room each.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll go
Yeah.
left if you like, or
So the dining room on the right is it's got an old table. It's like say this. It's dark. You've got some light coming through the cracks in the shutters, but not very much as it is getting a bit dark outside anyway. There's books everywhere in this. There's piles of books in the corner of the room. There's piles of books under the table. The seats have got books on them, magazines, and it all looks to be related to both medicine, medical, and technology. It seems to be, and then you find some academic papers with lots of like writing, scribbling down the sides on the table, just in a pile. But yeah, you look at the books that are there, and they're all about, you know, robotics and medicine and veterinary medicine. They all seem to be on that theme.
okay. Should I like roll investigate to further examine them?
Yeah, okay, go for it. What are you looking for specifically?
I think maybe just to get an understanding of like why these things are here, if that makes sense. Like why are they?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't piece it together. There's a whole bunch of stuff about tech, but it's not really your particular field, I guess. So, yeah, you're just kind of looking around and you're searching, picking up these things, looking at it. But yeah, there's nothing that strikes you immediately.
I
Okay.
can give
Alex.
you a hand with it when I get this room done.
Yeah, Alex, you're in the sitting room. It's a slightly tidier affair through here. There are some plants, potted plants that are dead. They look like they've just shriveled and died. There are this sort of old patterned furniture. It looks comfy. It's a bit worn in places. And there's a bureau at the back of the room. One of these old-fashioned wooden carved, turned feet and handles, and the front is sloping at the front of it.
Oh, those bureau things. To try and investigate as well.
Yeah, is that like one of those roller bureau
Like
type
that
things?
bureau
Is that-
things, yeah.
Yeah. So
But just
some,
so
sometimes they're
you go
locked
up to it.
and sometimes they are not.
Yeah.
Get up. I'll go investigate and see what we can find. Whether it's locked or whether it's got anything cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right then.
D20s, roll 20s balancing the scales.
So you go up and you put your hands just at the top of it and you hinge this down and it folds forward to make a writing space. Inside there are drawers with writing paper, pens, and magazines and papers. But also what strikes you as interesting, there are business cards from the University of Edinburgh and Shepa. It has the two next to each other, and it has the name of Professor McGilwin.
All right, well, I think we have a name.
And underneath that there is Vindsvept animal research. Veterinary research, it would say.
Yeah. So is that on his card? Is that like where he works, as in like where he works, or is it just one of the, it's okay.
Yeah, that's the institute, and then there's a phone number under that as well.
Yeah, find out if there's a phone. I'll pocket the business card. It saves having to like try and find it again. We need extra info.
Yeah.
I'll hop over. If it doesn't matter if there's anything else, I'll hop over to the other room. See how Kara's doing.
Yeah. Right. So while you're doing that, upstairs.
So I think after we're like, no, you go first. No, you go first. Okay, let's go
Yeah.
Let's go
They're
together.
still on the stairs.
And we get stuck in the doorway.
Okay. Yeah.
Right door first.
Which one had the? I mean, can we still hear the robot from outside? We can't
No.
hear it anymore, so it's kind of stopped. Now it had followed us round to that side door that we got in just before.
That was
right?
I thought you went in through the front door, so
Whichever, whichever door it was.
The front. Yep.
Do any of these rooms kind of face the front of the building then?
Yes.
Any of these doors?
Two of them do, yeah. So one of them, the one on the right is you open it, it's a bathroom. Black and white lino tiles, like not real tiles, but just like linoleum.
Yeah.
Avocado green fittings, large bath, and tap and toilet, and a window looking out over the front with light coming in.
Yeah. I mean, we could look out the front. Maybe I can't hear that. I can't hear that thing anymore. Maybe we can have a look and see if it's still there.
Okay.
And then maybe we could see if there's a phone. We could maybe call for help or something.
That's a good idea. I like that idea. I'm going to very tentatively look out the window.
Yeah, I think, and as Jamie's doing that, I think Martin's probably hanging back slightly. So he's kind of there, but he's kind of hanging back as Jamie's doing that because she's probably taller than him and more physically imposing.
It's just forehead and eyes sticking up.
Yeah, over the window.
Yeah. So you're on the first floor, above the front door, and to the top left if you're standing at the front door, and you look down over the front door, you cannot see robot.
Okay, I think we're clear.
He passed his stealth check.
Phew, Lloyd.
Just makes a noise behind me and I jump around. What?
Yeah, you turn around, it's a robot. Marty's not there
Yeah.
anymore. It was a robot the whole time.
By the robot, yeah. So
Should we check the other room?
sure. Yeah, okay, yeah. And then maybe we can see if we can find a telephone.
Okay.
Telephone. Because that's what we called them in the 80s.
You go back out, and they run our
rotary.
carpet along. They run our carpet along the top landing. Only it does not edge. It only reaches the first middle 2 or 3 foot, and this floorboards paint black on the side of it. And you walk along there, and they creak as you step along. You get to the door, and you're standing, looking at the side window, and there's a door left or right.
Whichever side Jamie's on, that's the door that we're opening, I think.
Right side.
If Jamie's all right with that,
Okay.
obviously.
Yeah. This is
I guess.
I'm just being gentlemanly now.
This is a bedroom.
It's nothing to do with fear.
Yeah.
The curtains are drawn in the bedroom. There are two windows. The bed's set in the corners. A window on the left and in front of you as well, but the curtains are drawn. Again, it's just so dusty, and the light, as you even just opening the door, you see specks of dust through the light that's coming through the curtains, just in those shafts of light just flicking. And the bed has lovely floral patterns on the bedclothes, and there's a wardrobe just behind the door, and a chest of drawers to the side of the window, and a rocking chair with a jacket just chucked over it.
But it looks like it's been there a while. Everything's covered in dust, right?
Yeah, it seems to be. Yeah, I mean it's not thick dust, but it certainly is. It certainly hasn't been well kept
And
or
Martin's
rummaged in.
heart's going to sink at that point because he's going to figure if nobody's living here, there's no way there's going to be a phone that's working. And he probably I said that out loud to Jamie as.
Well, don't say that. We haven't found one yet.
Why are you gonna be such a negative Nancy?
I'm going to look on like the counter or like the dresser in the room and see if there's a phone.
No phone at either side of the bed, or there's light switches and such, but no phone in this room.
Would this have been like a master bedroom? I mean, I suppose we haven't checked the other room, right? So I guess.
Yeah, but yes, I mean it could easily be.
Yeah. So nobody has slept here in quite some time.
I am going to turn Alex around and push him out the door.
Yes.
Like, go check the other one.
Okay. And yeah. Martin's gonna do as he's told. She's bigger than him.
You open the door and it's boxes. It's just piles of boxes and crates. You can't really see any light in it. You open the door basically, and you can't open the door fully.
That's
There's
a
something
good
behind
point.
it.
Is there a light switch?
Yes.
Can I flick it on?
Yep.
Does power
Light
come on?
comes on. Yeah, power comes on, and the light is. You just see that looking up because you're quite short. It's just boxes piled high, cardboard boxes filled with whatever, and there's kists, wooden crate, tall like packing crates at the floor level in front of you.
And they look like they've been there a while as well, or is it? Or are they more recent? Okay.
No, it's all similarly dusty and musty.
Do they have any markings on the boxes?
University of Edinburgh.
Yeah, very very faded, and very kind of just like numbers and stuff. But it looked like they might have been once used as tea chests or something for moving, but you know, nothing that you can see from that side. Nothing kind of particularly obvious. But yeah, this room is filled with boxes. You open the door and there's 2 foot to the left of it, and the door swings open and jams on something, so it doesn't open all the way. And then there's boxes basically in front of you.
Ooh.
Can I try to investigate the contents of a box?
Yeah, go for it.
Ah!
You can't get up them. They're precarious. You look at them and you try and shift one. That look down kind of cracks. You can't see in them. You would actually have to unpick the careful packing of this room. And yeah, without knowing what's inside them, you don't know how heavy they would be, and the whole thing just looks a bit precarious.
Should we go back downstairs and check on the others?
Yeah, I think we should be okay. If that thing's moved on, we should be okay. Yeah. Let's go and see what they're doing. And we head downstairs.
Yeah. Okay. So while that's been going on, Carol, Alex, you've been downstairs looking through some of these books and trying to make success of understanding something.
Can I venture into see if there's a kitchen off the dining room?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Maybe go and have a look in the fridge and see if there's if there's fresh food or rotting food or
yeah. So you walk into the kitchen. Everything looks tidy. This is where the side door is that you saw. It goes out there, and you can see there's a bolt over it from this side. There's a window above a sink. There's a large double sink. There's a cupboard that looks like a pantry off to the side, and there's bench around it. There's an old stove, black fronted stove, that you would have likely put wood into to keep it alight and do your cooking, and the hot plates are covered with insulating hoods on top of them. But yeah, there's a fridge freezer at the end, just at the side of the pantry. And yeah, you walk over to that and open it up. There is a lot of moldy things in here. The light comes on when you open it. It's a manky yellow color. And the anything that was once fresh in here is no longer. There's a couple of jars that look fine, but otherwise anything that might have been fresh is just kind of withered to this little patch on the bottom of the shelf in the fridge. So yeah, nothing looks like it's very good at all.
Ew, gross. I kind of slam the door shut and wrinkle my nose a little bit because mold and rotting foods and just general grossness. And then I guess I wander back to Alex and it's just whatever was in the fridge is long gone. It looks like it's been there a while.
Yeah, I don't want to know. It's probably turning into its own form of life at this point. I didn't really find a lot. I found a business card. Maybe it's from the guy who lived here or someone who used to visit. I don't know.
Sweet. Can I?
Yeah, it was one of many
Professor
of those business
McGilvin.
cards.
Oh, okay. From some animal research unit.
The robot had like the University of Edinburgh on the side of it, and said that
I don't like the idea that these things may be connected.
Yeah. You don't think it got whoever lived here, do you? Like, we're not gonna, like, find them somewhere.
I don't know, unless he's turned up upstairs.
I
do wonder, yeah. Just Marty, but you learn to phase it out after a while.
I think we would have heard it if they'd, like, found him upstairs.
Yeah. I wonder if the guy who had this, like, was doing some weird experiments with these robots and then just left. And never came back.
Yeah.
Maybe. But we did come here looking for a dog first.
Well, we found a dog. And then we kept looking for some reason.
They're terrible vets.
Yeah, we tried to find the murderer.
You're all congregated in this kitchen. The door outside, and then the other door to the pantry, and the windows at the front with net curtains over them. And this window looks out over the back, and you can see the forest that you came from. You see the wire straddled across the courtyard, the fence down, and as you're looking out of the window, you see a deer running past.
I listen carefully to see if I hear a robot in pursuit.
Nothing. It's quiet.
Can we, like, from one of the windows see where the initial robot that was standing over the other deer is? Like,
yeah, if you peer, kind of stretch, look out and look kind of that way, you can see down towards the far corner, and you can't see that robot.
Or the deer?
Or the deer.
Okay.
Would now be a good time for a break?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yes, let's do it.
It gives him time for his ideas to percolate. It's not always a good thing.
We'll get coffee and things.
Yeah.
Aye, we'll be back in 10.
Yeah.
So you've congregated in the kitchen. All good parties end up in the kitchen. You watched a deer run past the window and out the way you had come into this, across and into the forest. And the only door that you haven't checked in this place so far is the pantry door, just to the right of the fridge.
That's where the dead guy will be.
Eek.
He's such a pessimist.
I'll
go open the door.
And it's a light switch inside as well, and it's just shelves. There are various tins upon the shelves, and there are various boxes of things. And you see cable, and you see elements that look like it could be used for electronics or robotics or some such. You're not exactly sure what, but there's alongside the food in this large pantry. It has been used partly for storage of food, but most of it is turned over to the storage of gear.
Does that all look like it's been there a long time as well?
Yeah, you grab one of the tins and look at the the sell by date or the use by date, and it's fast approaching. Not yet out of date, but certainly there's only a few months left on the.
But there's
tins
like
and
a layer of
beans and-
dust over all of this too, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, a little bit. Not so much in here. It's not so much, but no air passing through really. But
Where's that cable go?
Where else the cable go?
So you're rooting around. You're rooting around on this. Some of the cable is on shelves and boxes. You pull out boxes of it and you look in, and you see there are various components that you don't know what they are, but they're there. And at the back of one of the shelves, there's a large box with a cable that runs down, and through it, you can look down under one of the shelves and you see it goes through a big hole in the wall directly through. Now at this point of the house, you kind of know that you're at the back corner of it, and you know from having been outside that the next thing along is this Nissen hut that's in there. So yeah, the cable seems to be going out towards in that direction.
Should we follow it?
Oh, we'd have to go outside. But
you'd have to go outside, yeah.
But it looked like that robot had moved on.
Yeah.
Unless it's come around the back. We haven't checked out the back, but
I mean, I think if it's still around, the deer probably would have turned up.
Was it the side door? Was that the door that was nearest to that Nissen hut?
No, that's on the opposite side of the kitchen. The kitchen runs the length of the back of
of the house, yeah.
Of the house, yeah. With the kind of high up window with the curtains over it, and you looked out, and then this big pantry area takes up the rest of it, and above you. As you've walked in, so you're on the opposite. You're at the back of the house, and this it runs right across the back. So this,
which is going to be the best way for us to leave the house and get to the Nissen hut quickly. Which is going to be the best option for us.
6 of 1, really.
Oh, okay.
The side door, maybe. The side door would take you back into the place where you got knocked over, and
we know that the robots moved on from that because we looked. No, it was front out, wasn't it? We came in through the front. Okay.
Yeah, you came in through the front. Yeah.
Can I go and listen at the door, the side door, to see if we can hear anything moving around outside there?
No,
because they weren't quiet, were they?
No, they weren't quiet in the slightest. No.
Yeah. Do we need to make a roll? Okay.
No, you just don't hear anything.
We just make a run for it.
Yeah. Let's try to get back to our bikes and back to civilization.
Martin, you go first.
Me?
Yes.
At this point, I think Carrie probably just pushes her way through and just opens the door and starts running.
Where's she running to?
Back towards where our bikes were, I guess.
Yeah, we need to get back to where we go from. I don't know what I can do here.
We gotta check out that hut.
Do we? I mean, feel free.
I'm going for the hut.
Yeah.
The two scaredy cats are going for the hut.
Yeah.
Okay. So you pull the bolt. You pull the bolt open. This door opens, kind of ranch style. It's got the top opening and the side opening. So you pull the door open and you open and you walk out and turn left around the corner of the house, and you walk under the window of the kitchen that you were just looking out of. And immediately as you turn round the corner, you see that there's no robots standing out. There's no deer lying down. And you don't see or hear.
So
You
it's
don't see
taken
or hear.
the body of the deer that was there. That's gone as well, right? The remains of the carcass or whatever it was.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a dead deer. There was blood on the, and then you still see the blood. Yeah.
Maybe these things are really, really good at surgery. Maybe they're really good vets.
I don't want to find out.
Yeah, we don't want to find out, but we're heading for the hut.
Okay. So you get to the edge of the house. There's a small gap. The grass grows up over this hut. The frontage of this is thick concrete with a window cut crudely with some rough sort of plexiglass type. You know, it's not glass; it's some sort of plastic. It's all scratched. And then the opening of it, there's like a gate. It's open. This large gate. It's about it reaches to about 10 foot high. It's a pretty big outbuilding.
I'm looking at Jamie.
I turn around and look at Alex.
Well, if there's nothing there, let's just go.
You're standing looking at
Unless
the hut.
someone wants to get his hands dirty.
Okay. There's a door into the hut.
There is a large opening, like
Is it, yeah, but big enough for this robot to come through, wasn't there? That was the thing.
Exactly.
We better be quick.
And a window next to it.
Oh.
Just like an opening, a concrete hole with a bit of plastic slapped in it.
Okay.
I would like to peek in the window.
I'm glad you said that.
Excellent.
Uh-oh.
Roll for sanity.
Now I guess you're gonna be doing this quietly, right? So I think a stealth roll to get you out and over to the hut would be a good thing.
And just to assist you, Martin is nowhere near you.
I'm scared.
Yeah, if I have, you turn around and Alex is just holding him in place so he can't run away.
You try to be really quiet, but it doesn't help, and you make noise crunching on the ground as you try and sneak across to this window. But you get to the opening, and you look in, and you see a sheep inside, just inside, and you see one of the robots standing there over it.
Is it fixing it?
It seems to be trying to pick it up. And you hear it. And you watch as it does so. It picks it into and lifts it and turns around. And as it turns around, it sees you looking at it. And a red light just kind of sweeps across the window.
Ooh.
I fall backwards.
And then it turns just before it does that, it continues to turn around. Then you hear it, and it walks to the back of the hut.
the back.
I think there's another door.
Can I slowly peek up and see if there's another door?
Yeah, you can't see anything on the other side. It looks dark. It just goes into darkness. And you see the back of the robot retreating into it.
I get to back away slowly.
Yeah, maybe he's just trying to hide from us.
Okay. So Jamie's kind of backing away from the window. We can hear this thing moving inside. We can hear one of these machines.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to shout, Jamie, quick, quick, and gesture to get the hell out of Dodge with the rest of us.
I'll spin around and start running.
Yes.
You're running down the path that you came, down through the forest. At this point now, it's pretty dark. It's still dark. It never gets properly dark, and at this point, this far north, at this time of year, you're just past midsummer by a few days. So yeah, there's still plenty of light, but you're in the trees, and it's not that wide a path that's been cut. It's some signs of machinery having passed up and down, but the path itself is muddy and a bit wet, and you're just kind of running down this path, and it curves round, and when you get round that corner and look into the field, you see silhouetted against the hill that you came down from, where you saw the animals. There's a robot in the middle of the field, and it's at approximately the location that you would expect to have where you saw those dead animals.
Okay. We should go get our bikes, get out of here, and I don't know, maybe we can. You say you got a business card, Alex?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we could meet him at my place after Dad's gone to work tomorrow. Maybe we could try calling him.
Yeah, let's see if someone picks up.
I mean, it's worth a shot. That's the only lead we have right now. Unless someone knows how to secretly build a fighting robot overnight.
Maybe your neighbor.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll try and drop it like a subtle conversation. So, if you were to find a wild robot in the woods,
that needed destroying.
Yeah, how would you build another robot to fight it? Because that's clearly the only other way you'd handle it.
You're walking up through this path. You get to the edge of the forest into the field, and you're going to try and get to the far corner. The kitty corner is where you need to be in order to get your bikes where you left them. Or did you cycle in? Yeah, you didn't take them into the field, did you?
No, we left them outside the field and then climbed over the fence.
Yeah. So you can do that if you are trying to avoid or otherwise be quiet. I think again a stealth roll as you run across this, trying to pick the best route not to be spotted by this robot in the center of the field.
Escapes killer robot get run over by a sheep stampede.
The thing is, I don't know if we'd need to be that stealthy, or would we just run
You're just going to run, okay.
And grab our bikes and just pedal like fury.
Yeah, so as you're running across the field, you take the most direct route. The robot spies you and it turns.
I mean, we know it's slow.
And it begins to sort of turn and walk towards you. But you're easily out of there, not a problem. So you jump over the metal gate and onto your bikes. And the scene ends as you pedal downhill at a reasonable speed back into the town lights, which are now all on, the big orange bright lights of the town. The town itself is tens of thousands of people. It's not. It's maybe 12, 15,000. It's not huge. It's not tiny. It's not a city, but the community that's there is built up around the loop, and yeah, you get to your various houses, and that would be the end of that scene. Where do we pick up again? Are you all round at somebody's house? Are you all where do you all meet up again, and when?
Maybe the hangout?
Yeah. Just school holidays, isn't it?
Yeah. School halls.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah. I
It's
think
probably
once all the
fairly-
parents have left for work, we could just meet up.
Yeah.
Find out who's got a house that will be able to get away with calling random phone numbers.
Well, that's why
Probably mine, to be
Martin
honest.
suggested, his, because his dad was going to be out, and there's going to be nobody there, so we could all.
Yeah, 'cause I figure my parents probably wouldn't notice phone
No.
calls.
No, and Martin's
Okay.
dad's been distracted of late, so he kind of figures he may not notice either. But it doesn't matter really.
Let's go for Marty's then.
Okay.
Sounds good.
okay, so you all pitch up. What does the house look like, Marty? What's your place?
It's quite a modern place, and I think it's probably all like on a single level. But it's very, very modern inside, and in kind of lots of glass outside. It's obviously that Marty's dad's doing all right for himself. He's managed to make a fair bit of money doing whatever it is he does. And so everything in there is modern. There's lots of kind of what would be considered high-tech kind of equipment that kind of knocking around. Like bang off some stereo or something that's attached to the wall at one point. He's got his Atari VCS game system thing that's attached to a TV that's pretty damn big. And their phone is not one of those rotary dial ones. Oh no, push button. Exactly. Yeah.
Your phone
This
is
is-
so
this is-
cool.
This is what the future looks like, people.
It's probably one of those ones where they're like 6 different ringtones or whatever.
And I think we're kind of all standing around the phone there, which is kind of like I can imagine the sitting room is kind of actually like it drops down. They've got like a kitchen area, and then the sitting room is kind of, it drops down. It's all open plan. And there's this coffee table. They've got the phone on the middle of this coffee table. And they're sitting there looking at the phone in the business card, trying to decide which of us is going to make the call.
Caro will.
Oh, because she's got the most adult-sounding voice.
Yeah.
I think that's appropriate.
Yeah, I don't think I've got the range to do like a kid trying to do an adult. Hello, I am Mr. Jones.
Okay. So I push the phone over towards Caro.
And she kind of tentatively taps at the numbers initially, like not quite used to the whole like button thing.
Yeah.
Um,
What are you going to do if it's his secretary or receptionist or whatever? What are you going to say?
I don't know. I guess we probably should just find out and see if anybody's heard from him, and like maybe we should verify that this dude is still alive.
Sure. I kind of sit back. What if he's dead? What?
Well, I mean, that doesn't really have anything to do with us, other than the fact that we accidentally stumbled across it. Like,
Yeah, we found this old house.
Yeah. Sit back.
I'm not entirely sure that we can be blamed for something. Like, those robots clearly left a lot of damage that, like, doesn't look like anything that we could do.
What if it's like some kind of secret government program or something?
Yeah. What if it's a robot with a human brain in it?
Well, that's
Just tell them you're
terrifying.
calling to talk about their extended car warranty.
Yeah.
Actually, that is a good point. We could make up, maybe not car warranty, but
Robot warranty.
Maybe his like
Yeah.
veterinary malpractice insurance.
or something like that, or a veterinary seminar.
I'm 13 years old. I've no idea what you're talking about.
I don't know. My
Yeah,
parents
go with a
talking
seminar
about going
thing.
to some science thing that like seminars and stuff.
Yeah, but you talk about what you know to other people that know what you're talking about.
So don't talk about insurance. It won't be convincing from a 12-year-old.
No.
Yeah, a world-class like science seminar being brought up by a 12-year-old will sound just as. But let's go for it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they might not answer.
Do your best grown-up voice. Sound really sad and depressed.
Stop making me laugh. Caro takes a second to like just compose herself a little bit, to kind of try and get in the zone of like adulthood, but she's like 12.
Like the drama thing, like find your muse. Just feel like you've just come off a 12-hour shift.
Yeah, yeah, and just like, just trying to imitate her mother's like very professional like, phone voice and the phone call she's overheard. Although probably shouldn't be emulating the aunt because the aunt's phone
That'd be
is
brilliant.
absolutely appalling.
That'd be fantastic. Do it.
No, anyway, she just like, takes a second to compose herself, dials the number, and waits for the call to connect.
Hello, Royal School Veterinary Studies.
Hi, I'm calling on behalf I'm calling looking for Professor McGilwan. I have a seminar I believe he would be interested in attending.
Professor, let me just see. And you hear rustling of paper. Yep. Putting you through now.
Thank you. And at this point, Kara's kind of like, you see her eyes get really wide and she just looks a little bit freaked out by the fact that it's actually gone somewhere.
Hello, it's John here.
Are you Professor McGilwan?
No, Professor's not here. You've come through to his department. How can I help?
I really need to speak to Professor McGilwan. Is he available at all?
I'm sorry. He's on sabbatical at the moment. He's over in Sweden. He's doing some research with the loop over there.
Oh. Thank you so much. Do you know when he'll be back from sabbatical?
He's not due back until the start of semester. He's going to be teaching. So August, September time?
Okay.
Can I take a message?
No, I think that's all. Thank you. What I need to speak to him to is fairly time sensitive, so if he's not going to be back till August, September, there's probably not much point. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Yep. The phone hangs up.
Yeah.
What happened? What happened?
He's not. They say he's on sabbatical and he's in Sweden working on the loop or something. And he's not going to be back till like August, September.
What's a sabbatical?
I think it's like when they're not there.
Like a holiday for adults.
That was amazing, by the way.
Well done.
Thanks.
So, what do we do now?
Well, I get the feeling that he's not in Sweden anymore.
Oh, you think he's lied to them?
Well, they're lying to us.
Yeah, like a secret government program thing.
A conspiracy.
Yeah.
What does
I
that
don't know.
mean? I know words. I know what it means.
He's supposed to be one of the smart kids.
I still don't know if I would have, I would have
Oh,
known
sorry,
what
you meant
conspiracy was when I was 13. I don't know. Maybe.
We have to bring down the establishment.
Okay.
So I think we could cut that scene there, and you're kind of sitting around, having the kind of discussion, and it naturally leads on to other things. Pick up with a scene with I think probably Caro's aunt. And you see her going into a pet shop. And she's looking around, and she picks up a dog lead and a collar, and she walks out and into her car, and she drives off, and you see her just leaving the town by the main road up north. Yeah, she's heading up north. And then so she's picked up this dog lead, and she's off to do something, but you're not sure what she's up to. And then back with you guys. I think now, have you got any other avenues that you want to do together, or have you got any ideas about what would happen next?
I think it would be good to deal with some of these conditions. Maybe we could hang out in the hangout for a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
look how wounds.
You
Should
picked
probably
up
find
some
a first aid kit from somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, you could probably find one of them in your house, right? In somebody's house.
We'll need something for Marty's wounds, something like methylate or something.
Yeah.
One of those horrible old medicines that stings terribly.
Betadine, maybe?
I just about
I
had
could
my
play-
arm pulled off. I don't think that's gonna help.
I mean, I was more worried about your face, but okay.
A lot of people worried about my face.
I
Okay.
was talking about the scabs. Didn't you like full face first?
I did, yes. That's true. So if somebody's willing to kind of stick iodine or something on his face, and they're probably enjoying it as well, whoever it is. It's probably Alex because he's a bastard.
Maybe
But,
Marty's into it.
I don't think Marty's into it because He's just a kid. He's just a kid with kid problems.
I'm
We
gonna
can
play
go
some
to a
rock and
library,
roll on
right?
my guitar.
Hey, there you go.
Raise
The healing
morale.
power of rock and roll.
So where are you at this point? Where are you all? You're at somebody's house getting first aid.
I thought maybe we'd like borrow the first aid kit and take it to the hideout.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you brought your guitar, and you play some music, and you get yourself. Oh, you feel reasonably happy that you've done a good job at picking them up. You have do you have a radio? I guess you have a radio in there. Is it maybe in your hangout? Do you have is it a transistor radio or anything like that? Do you have, or maybe
Tranny?
maybe, yeah, from the net,
We got a tranny in our hideout.
or from the garden next door, the B&B that's next door. You hear news, and it says, and now over to the news from Radio Tweed, your local news, broadcasting to Tweeddale and Roxburghshire. An attack on a man near, and you're kind of listening to that, near New Oxenham. Unexplained man doesn't remember any of the situation. Says he was out walking his dog. The assailant is being sought. Received numerous slash wounds.
Oh, that sounds
know.
familiar.
Police are investigating and no leads. Meanwhile, Borders Rugby got a boost when Celtic Electronics extended their sponsorship. And it just kind of rumbles off into other local news, and you hear that kind of outside.
How far away is that from here?
That's kind of roughly where you were. That's
That
kind of
is where I
roughly
am.
there or thereabouts. That'd be the nearest place to where you were.
Who was
Under
it
the river.
that's sorry, who was it that saw the badge on the side? Was it Caro that saw the badge on the
Yeah.
side of the Did you mention that to everybody?
Yeah, I think I might have mentioned it to Alex
Mhm.
when he brought the business card over.
Yeah, they have the same logos.
Was the Shepper logo
Shipper,
on the
yeah,
business
Shipper and
card?
yeah, the university and the Shipper one, and the guy's actual credentials where he was part of the Dick's Veterinary Research Center.
I mean, maybe we could go to a library and find out some information about this fella or this
face away with.
Shepper. I mean, they keep science journals and stuff there, right? I think Dad
Oh yeah,
said.
I mean
The
I mean,
Shepper's like
Shepper's
the loop thing
the
organization.
high Scottish High.
Yeah. So we would know
And-
that because our
Oh,
parents
you
work for it,
definitely know.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But maybe we could find out about this guy, this Dr. McGilwin,
McGillen,
Professor McGilwin.
We could look up
All
the. Actually, no, we found it. Well, we found that number already. But yeah, I might be able to find some other info about like what he might have been trying to research.
I mean,
Yeah,
how
so you
would
get
we be able to
yourself-
find out whether or not he ever went to Sweden? Or I mean, is there any way we could
I don't
find
think
that
we could.
out?
I don't know. I mean, you might know if he's like published papers or something because there must
think
be
it'd
like
be in
some
the
kind of
phone
scientific
book?
research thing.
Do you think his home number might be in the phone book or something?
Maybe.
Yeah, we could check.
Yeah. To find a phone book.
That's easy done.
Probably one of the nearest
Next phone box. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, your phone books are printed and delivered. There's not that many people. Not everybody has phones. But somebody who's got
a phone box near our hideout, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's one over in the bus station.
We'll go get Rune to steal it.
Yeah.
Yeah, when did they start printing phone books? They've had printed phone books.
Oh, we had printed phone books forever, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So your dad's
all the
probably
yellow
got one.
pages. Oh, they could do, but I can't bother to go all the way back home. I thought we'd just go and get Rune to steal one for the phone box outside.
We could just do a time skip.
No, we can have that. Yeah, of course we can. We don't need to do it. So, yeah, the next scene is you and you're looking through the phone book and you find the number and Professor McGilwin's there, listed, and the address is Pinewood Cottage, New Oxnam, and then the number.
Pinewood Cottage. Hey, you don't think we were just at Pinewood Cottage, do you?
I don't know. We probably could have been.
I mean, it was in a Pinewood. It was a Pinewood, and it was a cottage that was in it. So if that's his house, he's not been there for a while. Would he have left two robots just kind of roaming around, killing animals, while he went off to Sweden?
I mean, the only thing I can think of is try to see more about what was in that outhouse till then.
Maybe we could make some traps or distractions for the robots to get in there.
Yeah. I mean, it's only like the one that seems to be active. The other one wasn't. I wonder if maybe only one of them's actually working.
Or wait, maybe one of them has just gone rogue.
Clearly, they're fine with attacking people. Like that news report.
So you think maybe one of the robots is doing what it's supposed to be doing, and the other one has kind of gone off its programming and is...
Maybe. I wonder if there is any way that we could verify that he actually went to Sweden. We'll make sure that he went to Sweden.
Well, the library... Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the library, so we could cut to you guys talking to the librarian. The library in Jedburgh is an old sandstone building. It looks old even in the 80s. The white paint holding the glass together, the carpet, it just white painted wooden shelves, and it's a reasonably big affair, and it has its own set of archive. And since it's now the library in the home of the Loop, it's had substantial resource added to it. Nothing spent on the actual building because it's probably Grade A listed, but the actual internal structure of the library is relatively modern. And there's a microfiche system, and you've got access there to newspapers if you wish to try and use them. And librarians are... Some of you might already have spent time in there, given your nerdy and geeky tendencies.
Yeah. Yeah, I think as a bookworm, Martin will be recognised by the librarian. I figure.
Okay, so what's the scene?
Well, I kind of figure that maybe this is where Martin kind of takes charge for a change, and leads his friends into the library, and with a sudden increase in confidence.
Yeah, this fortress of solitude.
This is it. He's going to go up to this librarian who probably knows him quite well. And he kind of looks up at her and he says, "Hi. I was wondering if I wanted to find out some information about like a really famous professor or something. Where would I find that information here? If you have any."
A really famous professor, and the
Well,
lady behind
I think he's probably quite famous.
is she's wearing kind of white buttoned cardigan, her hair in buns, grey. She looks pretty old, but yeah, she knows you and says, "Well, what is the name of this professor? Perhaps he has a book, or perhaps he has some journals that we might have access to here in this library. And what's his name?"
His name's Professor McGilwin.
"Well, let's see." And she goes over to the card index system and looks up authors.
I think he might be like a vet, or a guy that makes robots or something.
Yes. Here you go. And she takes out the card, and there's 5 of these cards. And she says, "Well, you know how these work. Go on then." And she hands you the cards.
Okay, and I figure that Martin will know how to use these cards, and will go and do exactly what he's supposed to do with them.
You come back with the books, and there are medical science books and robotics. Of no surprise, and one catches your eye particularly is a study of Japanese robots used in veterinarian sciences, where they're used as assistant in self-managing farms, or at least an attempt to create self-managing farms using robots.
Huh. I mean, were they successful? These experiments the Japanese were carrying out? I mean,
yeah. Well,
there must have been.
Professor McGilwin's. I mean, you flick through the book. The back cover, the dust cover, certainly suggests that it's an exciting area of science, and that there are many broad applications, and lists a couple of companies, one which is located in a town nearby you.
Ooh.
Yeah, Caltronics nearby in the town council has had some particular success.
Like a
with
bus
this.
ride away, is that? When you
Yeah,
say
exactly.
nearby?
It's only 11. Yeah, it's only 11 miles away on the bus. So yeah, this particular system relies on the tending, as you're looking through this, the tending of animals, and the ability to diagnose and potentially treat sick animals. And the study that was particularly of interest was successful. It allowed chickens. These robots were programmed to look after chickens and farm the eggs, and make sure that the health and well-being of them was well.
I mean, yeah.
And eggs.
I think these things
to
are doing
flow.
seems to be like a step up from that kind of actually kind of surgical procedures and stuff like that that Professor McGilwin's robots are trying to. Okay. Is there a picture of Professor McGilwin on the book?
Yes, of course.
Good.
Let's
have a look at the architect of our destruction.
he looks to be in his 60s, and the picture is taken in a room that you recognize with books behind. He's sitting in a chair in his cottage in the dining room area that you were with the bookshelf behind him.
Wow. So this is definitely him.
Is it someone that we might have seen around town? Like, if it's not an overly large village or wherever that we're living, like, you know, past him in the grocery store or seen him anywhere regularly, I guess.
Tell me. Yeah.
Yeah, you had a conversation with him just a few weeks ago. Said he was going to Sweden.
No, I don't know.
Right.
I
It's
just
possible.
figure it's a small town.
What skill might you use to try and recall that? If you're get a roll there, let the dice decide.
I don't know. I'm not really sure where that would.
Comprehend, maybe.
Yeah.
Investigate. Would that be?
Investigate. Yeah, possibly. Well,
I mean, because
either-
if you
either
were,
or.
yeah, charm. No, you're trying to
You could
recall
ask them.
something, aren't you? I mean, you were trying to recall. Yeah, or you could. Yeah, I mean, we could ask. You could ask the
Okay.
librarian if you wanted.
Sure.
Maybe.
I'll do that. So I guess I wander over to her and I'm like, this guy's local. Do you, like, know anything about him? Like, does he come in here often? Or have you seen him around town at all?
The professor, I have never seen him here, but and she takes the book and turns it over and looks at it. Imagine if he is working at the university, then he'll spend most of his time in the city, either here or at Chepa. I maybe have seen him. I can't say. No, I'm sorry, dearie. I can't place him. But oh, do you know what it's like? Since we brought the loop into town, it's been an influx of all sorts of intelligence and brains, like this professor here. What's he writing about? Oh, robots and farms. I see. Well, it's good to see you. Do you want to work at the loop when you're older?
Yeah. I think I would like to. My parents both work for the loop, so it would be really nice to, like, follow in their footsteps.
Oh, that's lovely, dearie. You keep studying. Keep reading these books. Do you have a library card?
I don't. I probably should get one, though. We've not long moved here from Australia, so I'm still kind of, like, learning my way around a little bit.
Well, here you go. Have this form, and she goes off and gets a form, and make sure you get your mum to sign it, or your dad, and hands it
Will do.
over.
Thank you. And I guess I go back to the others. They don't. She doesn't recognize him, but maybe somebody else will. I don't
Wait.
know.
I bet somebody at the university would recognise him.
Does this mean we're going to Edinburgh?
Oh, if they all think that he's in Sweden, though, don't they? What about this company that it mentions here? Cal thingy.
Galtronics.
Caltronic. I mean,
Maybe we could search newspapers for mention of it.
Yeah.
There's an idea.
Yeah. So again, you get to searching, You get the librarian helps you and shows you around about the microfiche. Martin probably already has looked at this before, maybe others you have. And you're given a little bit of index help and given kind of some suggestions. But you find articles relating to the University of Edinburgh and this particular division of animal science, and you find these news articles about promising research that's being done in agriculture, and you see the professor mentioned in line with this, and he's quoted as saying that through promising research, we are hastening the arrival of fully automated farms to mirror the success that those in Japan have had in the past. And we are hopeful that these new processes will be adopted by farms across Scotland, renowned for its quality of lamb, particularly overseas. As an export, we foresee that the farmers will benefit greatly from our inventions. Working with our partners at Keltronics, the University of Edinburgh, and of course the Loop, we'll be able to revolutionise farming in a way that hasn't been done since the gravitronic plough has been brought to us.
So something has gone wrong. It seems like mostly these robots have been successful.
That does explain, though, why it was sheep that got destroyed or sliced up. Less so about the people and the dog.
Hold on a minute. That deer, it was gone when we... And the sheep, they were acting funny, weren't they?
Well, they looked old, some of them.
Yeah, they look
I don't know whether Martin would put this together in the way that I'm putting it together. What
roll
if...
for it.
Shall I?
No, you don't have to.
I don't know if I can keep it to myself. What if one of these robots is going and killing these animals and the other one is putting them back together?
I think you've been watching too much sci-fi.
I look a little bit dejected when she says that and a little bit embarrassed. What?
Like, those things were torn up. I don't know how they could, like, come back to...
But the deer was gone. The deer was gone when we came back outside. And we saw a deer running through the yard.
That's
Maybe it
true.
kept running.
Maybe. I don't know. It just seems so...
But maybe it puts them together, but there's something not right. The dogs and the dog and the sheep in the field, weren't they acting weird?
I mean, sheep are pretty weird anyway.
Maybe there's something in their food.
No, it's far more logical that some robot has reassembled them and they're now putting things in the food. How ridiculous.
Like, shut up.
Well, I think we need to go back and
Yes.
investigate the cottage.
Yeah, the outhouse. Not outhouse. Whatever.
No, we don't want to go in there. I'm not investigating that.
The outbuilding was the one place we haven't really thoroughly looked because we kind of ran away the moment things started moving around.
Yeah. I suppose we could also check the field and see if the bodies are still there.
Yeah, I could do that on the way.
Probably
We should
safer.
prepare. Like, maybe you can invent some kind of distraction device?
Oh, can we get fireworks?
Ooh.
You just get those little, like, the little crackers.
I'm just
cherry
trying to
bombs.
think whether we actually had access to proper fireworks in the 80s, no matter how old you were.
There's a
I
shop.
don't think we did. But yeah,
But it's
there's
the wrong
always
time
a
of year.
shop.
There's a shop,
Yeah.
but it's the wrong time of year.
Time skip.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just hang around till November, and then we'll carry on with it.
I mean, you could.
We could get like a wind up toy, like it's like a throwable noisemaker, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a portable amplifier? Is that a thing?
I mean, if you'd have done it, it would have run on.
I mean, Jamie
like
might have
those
it.
big chunky batteries, and it would have been
The big
rubbish.
D-cell things.
It would have been hopeless.
Yeah, big square
Yeah.
ones with springs on top of them. Yeah.
Imagine if Rune was here, they'd probably have like a sort of like an air horn or something.
Oh no, that's not a bad idea. We can get a hold of something like that, maybe.
Just,
Right.
Yeah.
Ah.
But who's going to act as a decoy?
Who's the fastest?
Not me.
Probably Rune. I think Rune might be the only one who's actually got any points in body.
As a skater.
I'm kind of fast.
Thank you for your brave volunteering in this hour of need.
No, that's not what I meant.
I mean, that was the question.
Right,
I guess I could.
Or maybe if we all have it, we can we don't have to all someone doesn't have to run away. We could just confuse it by baiting it at different points. Whoever tries to go after one person, if it is even there, might be off. I don't know.
maybe why don't we just we'll take the radio. We can take the radio out of the hideout, and we just turn it up real loud and just leave it somewhere. Draw it away, maybe.
How good is our radio though?
Well, we don't want to be too.
It might
good,
get
'cause
it might
it's going to
destroy
get
the
destroyed.
radio. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's like if we have something too cool,
Yeah.
we might want to
It's-
sacrifice
yeah,
someone
no,
else's radio.
It's going to be a rubbish one that we found somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah.
In a garage or something.
We could drag my portable amp out and I could play
Okay.
guitar to distract it.
No,
It could be one
We
of those
are
really
not.
old radios.
we're
Like
going,
the,
not going to sacrifice your amazing amplifier for
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, we'll use one of those crappy old radios with a sliding frequency selector.
Yeah,
yeah,
they were
yeah, yeah.
Shortwave.
I think we should do that. I think we
I
should.
mean, the shortwaves ones, they squeal enough, like the sort of short medium wave, they kind of squeal on their own.
Yeah.
You don't even need to have an actual station, just turn the volume up.
I mean, I'm okay with taking the radio out of the hideout because I hate the radio.
Yeah, we can steal a new one, it's fine.
We should bring flashlights too.
Yeah, Rune can always steal us a new one. Fine.
You had mentioned that you wanted to use some time as well to heal some of your conditions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way that healing works in this game, as far as I can tell, is if you spend time privately with another kid giving advice, comfort, you can heal one condition. And then
Is spend a time with an anchor or something. Is that the other?
yeah, you can
way?
spend time as well. You can also you can also get a safe place, like in your in your den, your gang hut, that place, the fire station. You can do stuff there and then you can also use your anchor as well. So if any of you want to spend a scene with your anchor and heal all your conditions, you can do that. And yeah, that seems to be That seems to be what you can do.
Well, I think
So,
Martin and I could spend some time together, both having been
talking
through
about yeah,
our scary experiences.
yeah. I think that might be something that we could
Yeah,
do.
let's bond over our shared trauma.
Yeah. Yeah, that would work.
aye.
That could be at the hideout or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is it you're talking about? What are you discussing?
How we were trying to be really tough, but it was really scary because there were knives being thrown in our faces.
Yeah. Yeah,
and we'll
I
also talk about how we got stuck in the door frame when we were trying to go into the room at the same time.
Yeah, that
that'd
was
be so
pretty funny.
embarrassing.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I mean, I wasn't that scared really. What about you? I mean,
No, of course not. Well, we can handle anything.
I mean, it was just a robot. It's just trying to. It's just trying to fix animals, right? But it's broken. It wasn't. It wouldn't
didn't-
have hurt us, would it? It wouldn't have hurt us, surely.
No.
I don't think so. I thought you were pretty brave anyway when you tried jumping on its back. I think that was one of the coolest things I've seen, to be honest.
Oh, thank you. I thought you were pretty brave too.
And I'm just gonna blush. Yeah. But when you were trying to, you were fighting the thing. It was amazing. Yeah, I just think it was really brave.
Oh, thanks.
Anyway, that's as far as I can go with this scene without getting too cringy.
Yeah. So you can heal a condition each for that.
I'm gonna get rid of scared. I think.
Me
After
too.
our little conversation, I think that we've both talked each other up and made each other feel brave.
Yeah. Anybody else? Are you going to see your anchor? Are you going to spend a scene with your anchor? A person that you can go to for support, or are you clear of conditions?
Yeah, I'm clear, so I'm happy to spend time with the clubhouse, like planning or trying to help out these other two that had a bit shaken up.
I'm also clear, so pretty much the same.
Yeah. Have you got any scenes in mind?
Are you talking to Lloyd and Russ there?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I suppose we just jump forward to when we were gonna go back to where we were investigating, exploring the cottage or the field or something.
Sure. So the next day, and the time you've met up, and you're feeling a bit emboldened, knowing that you can outrun this slow robot certainly helps that. And you park your bikes at the field, and there are sheep standing at the top of the field with a black and white dog standing there looking at you, just staring.
I'm telling you, it's like I read a book like this where all the villagers had gone a bit weird.
I'm gonna try calling the dog over.
I mean, I still think you probably watch too much sci-fi, but I'm sorry for how I said that last time. They do indeed appear to be back.
Now we saw
Yeah.
that dog. That was in pieces when we last came through this field.
I mean, now it's not in pieces, it's worth like 20 quid.
Well,
it's running as you whistle and shout. The dog begins to make its way down, and as the dog walks down, the sheep follow it.
Does the dog look old or young?
The dog looks quite old, yeah.
I'm going to take a step back, and I'm just going to whisper, Franken dog.
And the dog comes up to the gate. The sheep are standing right behind it. The dog's wagging its tail, looking up at you.
Does it look old and decrepit like the sheep did last time we were here?
Yeah, the sheep look even older and more decrepit than they did the last time. As much as it's possible for sheep to look old, these things, their faces are weathered and their fleeces needing clipped badly. It's got very long. Their tails have not been docked properly and are long and scraggly. Their hooves look in bad disrepair. Their legs don't look great where there isn't too much. Yeah, the dog looks up at you, wags its tail.
I don't think that Professor McGilwin's experiment is doing so well.
It really doesn't seem to be.
Kara kind of like just fans her hand in front of her face. Jeez, they smell terrible. Like, they must have, all that extra fleece or something must be making them. And she kind of steps back.
Yeah, maybe they're just because they're old. They're like old people where they just smell like old wee and death.
Lacking in the scent of mothballs, but essentially correct.
Shall we go and see if we can find those bits of animal that were further in the field?
Yeah, or at least see if there's any evidence. Maybe there's still like something.
I'm telling you. There's something wrong with these animals.
I mean, yes, but we don't know what it is. Hopefully we'll never have to find out.
I wonder if it being old is going to like impact on our ability to collect that reward.
I mean, it didn't specify. It might just mean that I think we just stole someone else's dog.
Well,
maybe we could convince them that just being out in the wild ages dogs terribly. Like they start to go feral.
I guess we should go and try and see what's in that cottage.
Should we maybe like try and restrain the dog in some way so that it doesn't like run off before we can collect this reward?
Or should we do the dog first and then we can come back for the outbuilding?
Hey, look, why don't we're just going to go into the field. We're going to see if we can find the remains, those bits of animal that we saw, and then we can take our bikes and we can just go down the driveway to that house, right? I mean, we saw there was a driveway. It's got to lead somewhere. Can't we just bike to the house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, so I'm climbing the fence at that point, to kind of get into the field, looking nervously at Franken dog.
Yeah, the dog is really pleased to see you. It comes over to you and it sits down at your feet as you get over.
It seems friendly enough. I wonder if it knows any tricks. Roll over.
Doesn't do anything.
paw? I hold out my hand.
Yeah. Take a step back and hold your hand, and it lifts its paw up and puts it in your hand. The sheep are standing watching you.
They're not trying to put their feet in
No,
your-
you're not suddenly picked up like babe powers.
Yeah. And I start edging around them to kind of get past. And I look back and say, "You coming?"
Yeah, I'm coming.
Oh.
You see if the dog responds to stick him.
I point it.
Well, does the
Alex
aunt, did the aunt mention, because with the missing dog, did the aunt mention a name so we could try and see if the dog responds?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Was there a name mentioned on the poster for the dog?
Yes.
Ooh.
It was Blue, the name of the dog. And
We just say
called
Blue
that.
and see if the dog responds or not.
yeah, totally it does. Yeah, it wags its tail and stands up.
That's got to be the dog.
There must be thousands of black and white dogs here called Blue.
This one, this one's got the reason it's called Blue. It's got blue eyes. It's got one blue eye. It's got one blue eye
that's
and
right.
one brown eye or whatever. Yep.
And this matches the description, just very old,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, we could take it because it might just be like, oh, maybe it doesn't remember exactly how the dog looked.
It
It
could have
like
been
a
an
black
old,
and white one.
an old photo that they put on the poster.
Yeah.
isn't it?
That's the thing. Maybe we could hoist the dog off before we do that.
Does it have a collar?
No.
So we're not grabbing it by the collar and dragging it along.
Maybe he'll just follow us?
Yeah. That's a good point.
I mean, if it knows paw, it's got to be that well trained, right?
Sure. I mean, it didn't know roll over, but
Who does though?
my dog would.
Do you even have a dog?
No. But if I did, it would. It would.
Sure. Come on, Blue. Let's take you home.
I'm going to head up into the field to see if I can find the bits of animal that were scattered
Yeah.
around last time we were here.
Seems to be a fairly sizable bird that flaps away when you get up the top of the hill. Big black crow. And
So it
when you
may
get
have been having a... Hmm.
when you
Carry on.
get up there, you look to where you are and you look down, and there's a few slugs crawling about. But nah, there's nothing there like you saw.
And I just look knowingly at the others. Franken dog.
He's like, you look knowing, you're like, you didn't find shit.
But I didn't find shit.
Oh, shall we get Frankendog back to his owner? Or
Yeah,
her owner?
let's go get our reward.
Okay, let's go.
And let's
So,
get
yeah, you
ourselves
open
up
the-
to do wasted
you
on
open-
sugar.
You open the gate, and the dog comes through quite happily. And as you call it, its name,
Followed by
the
a
sheep.
herd of sheep.
yeah, the sheep all walk up to the gate and kind of look at you, not letting them out, I guess. And you call the dog, and it trundles along next to you as you're cycling. So no problem. That scene closes with the border collie, the black and white dog, just kind of trundling along behind the five of you on the bikes.
Ah.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I think that is a good place to end
To
that
leave
one.
with this one
Yeah, I
shot.
think so. I think
We
so.
found the doggo.
You found the doggo.
Yay!
Woohoo!
We found a dog.
Well, it responds to the name, it matches the description.
It kind of matches the description.
Whatever you say, Frank and Marty.
Yeah, nice one. Right then,
Good game.
we'll call that. Yeah, good game. So, thanks all for playing, and we've got a new mystery coming up. And if you want to keep your characters, you can. But we've got the small deal of experience. And we could do this. We can. I don't know if anybody wants to do this now, just on stream, or we can do this at a later time off stream between and before next week. What do you want to do? I'm happy.
We can do.
Maybe for the first one, do it on stream.
Yeah.
We could. Let's do it on stream.
Okay, so the way that it works is not dissimilar to other games that we have played. The basically what I do is I ask a series of questions. There's 5 questions in all, and you can answer yes or no. And if you answer yes, you get an experience point, and then you can raise a skill when you get 5 experience points. The game does not allow you to hold more than 10 experience points. So the first question is, did you participate in the session? And so that means you all did. So you all get 1 XP.
Nice.
So that's immediately. Have you been in trouble because of your problem or your relationships?
I don't think I have.
Nope.
No, I think we just were in trouble because we found.
Yeah, we're just in trouble because we're kids in the 80s.
Yeah.
We're somewhere where we're not supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you use or struggle with your pride?
I nearly did, didn't I? And then
it's
changed
hard
my mind.
Yeah.
So
I
close.
tried to. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think mine probably would have worked if I'd succeeded at any of the roles where I was trying to do something clever.
Yeah. But I mean, this is up to you. If you think that you did, then give yourself a yes and a point.
No.
If not, then do not. Question 4: did you put yourself at risk for the other kids?
Yes.
You all did.
Yeah, I think we did. Yeah.
And the final question: have you learned something new?
Yes.
And what is it?
Leave sleeping robots lie.
Yeah, there's that. We found out that stuff, even if you keep it in a fridge, goes off eventually.
Hygiene is important.
Yes.
I learned that dice gods are cruel.
Yes.
There's also they're doing some kind of farming experiment or something to try and upstage.
And that
Japan.
the cottage is owned by Professor McGilwin.
Yeah. Also, how annoying it is to research without Google or the internet in general.
Excellent.
What else have we discovered? We've discovered. Depends whether you want to class each little bit. Like we know Professor McGilwin. We found out his identity. We found out that the cottage belongs to him. We found out that he's been researching animals and robotics, or veterinary science and robotics. We found out that he's been working with Keltronic and in conjunction with the University of Edinburgh. We found out that he's supposed to be in Sweden. Does all of this count?
I found out
I
should have picked computer instead of lightsaber for my iconic item.
Yeah. although
I mean, there would have been
you did get
BDSs
some
and stuff.
use. You did get some use out of that lightsaber.
That's true.
Which yeah. So I think we should be able to tick. We found out something new.
Yeah.
Does it have to be a different thing for each of us?
Or is it? No, I don't think so. Doesn't say.
Okay.
I think that's fine. I'm quite happy. Yeah.
Well, just in case he was, I thought I'd throw out
Yeah,
everything.
I
that
think
we
it's just if
found out.
it applies to you, then yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, you also heal. I think you heal all your conditions at the end of a mystery as well.
Okay.
I think it gets us about 5 XP. So.
Is that the end of the mystery?
I think it's a good place to end the mystery.
Episode, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. We found the
I
dog.
think so. You found
yeah,
the
so
dog.
there's like there's an overarching mystery, but this episode is.
Okay.